Good morning, everybody. This is Kathleen Michelle. We're going to be really real this morning because we are doing mindfulness with our coffee. And Yoki is with me today. If you have not seen Yoki in other videos, this is my kitty cat Yoki. She's joining us this morning, apparently. So we're getting real too because I literally rolled out of bed maybe 4 minutes ago, and the coffee is brewing as we speak, and I took a bit out of the craft so that we can chat this morning and do mindfulness together. So we are doing, oops, sorry, that was Yoki. She wanted to get some loving from the computer, I guess. Um, so we're doing mindfulness with our coffee or whatever you have with you. Maybe you've got orange juice or you got your um, tea or just even your water, because we're doing mindfulness with our beverage. So if you've ever done mindful eating before, it's the same thing. We're just doing it with our beverage. So we are going to be using our five senses to be with the experience of our beverage. So for me, I'm going to be with the experience of my coffee using my five senses. So I'll walk you through that. So I generally actually take a moment when I'm doing this. So whether I'm starting with the first bite of my lunch or I am starting with the first sip of my morning coffee, I generally set the tone a little bit before I get going with my five senses. Where usually I'm sitting at a table or a desk, right? And so I'll have it in front of me, and I'll just kind of take a few deep breaths, kind of like we practiced at the beginning of our challenge of just like upright spine, open chest, open breathing, right? And just hanging out for a moment, pulling myself into the moment, really intentionally being there. And then I'll start with my five senses. So you can find other guided instructions on doing this. If I'm not your style, right, there are lots of people out there who have put together either written or audio guided mindful eating steps. So we're going to do it pretty dang similar to everyone else. It's been around for years and years and years and years, way longer than I've been around. So it's not a new thing, which means it's been working for a lot of people for a long time. So it's definitely worth giving a shot. Okay, so we're gonna hang out. We've grounded ourselves. We're here with our beverage, and we're gonna start with our sense of vision. So I'm just gonna take a moment and take a look, and just take a look at my beverage, and it's pretty dark coffee. I don't know if you can see in there. It's pretty dark. I don't want to pour it out, but it's pretty dark, and I can see like the shimmer of the oils on top, and I can see where there's maybe more oil on one side than the other, right? So whatever your beverage is, just taking a really, really good look at it, as if, if you were to have the same piece of food or the same cup and beverage out, you're gonna have to pick it up, find which one was yours out of several, that you would know for certain, like, I know which one is mine. Okay, so that it might even mean that you take a look at your, whatever it's being served on. If it's not something you can hold in your hand, like, doing this with a raisin is something that's really common when we're doing this mindfulness exercise for the first time, and guiding other people through it, is we do it with a raisin. Right, and a raisin you can hold, but I'm probably not going to hold my coffee in my hand. Ouch, that would hurt, and it would get all over. So taking a look at it, and it's interesting because it's liquid, but it looks really thick for liquid. I like my coffee pretty dark. So so taking a good look at it, using your vision and getting as detailed as possible. If it's a piece of food, looking at all the different textures and all the different sides of the food. Okay, so then we use, if it's something that's in our hands, we can use our sense of touch. So feeling the mug, feeling the warmth of it, feeling the handle, feeling the smoothness of the mug, or if it's a piece of food, like feeling the weight of it, things like that, or even with the mug, I can feel the weight of that. Okay, so before we start to actually consume the food or the beverage, we take our sense of smell to the playing field. So just some slow breaths to allow the smell in. So we're not necessarily like, really forcing the smell. We're just letting it come into our nasal passage, okay, and smelling it. And maybe there's different layers of smell, right? Or if you've never smelled your food before, right? Like you're taking your first bite of your sandwich or whatever. Have you actually ever smelled your sandwich? Have you ever smelled the raisin? Have you ever smelled your milk or water, right? Water is different depending on what faucet it's coming out of. So, and when you're doing this, on your own in real life, taking 20, 30 seconds on each is totally fine. I'm walking through it, so I'm taking longer. But just really smelling it. And you might even notice that maybe there are memories that come up. Our olfactory system is really tied into our memory and our, the memory centers of our brain. So you might notice certain memories come up or certain thoughts or feelings come up. And we notice that. We mindfully observe that without attaching to it. Like, oh, interesting, I'm having that thought. Or, oh, interesting, I'm having that emotion. Or interesting, that memory is coming up. How interesting, but we notice it and then we move on. Okay, so after we're done with our smell, so I'm going to walk you through this next part because I can't do it while talking. We then bring it to our lips, whatever it is, the food, the beverage, we take it to our lips and we take, in this instance, a small sip, or if it's food, a small bite. And now we're going to use all the other senses, right? So it's in our mouth, and I know we already used touch, but we're going to use touch now in our mouth. Feeling it in your mouth, feeling the beverage in your mouth, and you hold it there. We take a small bite or a small sip, and we hold it there. Noticing how does it feel on my tongue, or maybe you move it and you feel it, near your teeth, or if it's a beverage, feeling it, go kind of like in the crevices of your mouth, like feeling that, and then noticing. Is there any saliva that's coming out, or like what's happening in your mouth, right? Noticing the digestive system already starting to work. Okay. And now we're going to use our taste, right? We're going to use our taste. And as we're moving that liquid or that food around in our mouth, noticing where does it taste differently in our mouth? So is it at the front of our tongue, at the left side, at the right side, the back of our tongue, like does it taste differently? Or are there certain tastes of the food or the water or the beverage that's enhanced, right? Is it sweeter? Is it saltier? Is it more bitter, at different parts of your tongue? So using taste. And now, if you have food, you can chew it, right? Just slowly, slowly chewing it, and maybe chewing it on one side and chewing it on the other side. And can you hear it, right? Can you hear your mouth at work? Can you hear your teeth and the food? And depending on the food, what is it like? Like, is it squishy sounding? Is it squeaky sounding? Is it crunchy sounding? Just hearing it, just hearing your food in your mouth. And then when your food is ready, and if this is a beverage, you're probably not chewing your beverage, but maybe you're putting it on different sides of your mouth and you can still hear that. Can you hear what it's like to move the liquid around in your mouth? And then when you're ready, it's time to swallow. So we're going to put the food or the liquid at the back of our mouth as much as possible. And then we're going to slowly swallow. And we're going to use our sense of feeling again, of touch again, and our sound, because we're going to see if we can hear it as well. And slowly swallowing and then feeling it go down your throat. And can you feel, the little mini contractions that are happening in that tube that goes down into your stomach? Because that's what's happening. There's little contractions that like push it down. So can you feel that working? And then can you feel it arrive in your stomach organ? Okay. Then if you need to swallow again, maybe there's more food or there's more saliva, you can try it again. Put it at the back. Slowly let it go down into your throat, into the tube. and then into your stomach. Okay. All right. And that is how we do it. That's how we do the mindful eating or the mindful beverage, right? So, like, I had my coffee this morning, so it's hard to chew coffee and things like and hold it in my hand. But you can do this with anything. And I know we're just over 10 minutes, but something that I want to say is that this is something I do like on the regular throughout my days. And it's a way for me to like take a break from the grind, right? It's a way for me to take a break, and it only takes a few minutes. And it's amazing how doing something like that, doing something like this, actually rejuvenates and helps you be more focused and on task and efficient. So I would really, really encourage you to try it even a couple times throughout your day today and see how it goes. Let me know how it goes. Let everybody else know how it goes. Put comments down below, whatever you got to do. So this is Kathleen Michelle, and you are joining me bright and early. I'm still in my pajamas. I got my hair all up and crazy. We are real this morning with our mindfulness. So Kathleen Michelle here with One Moment Center, and you're watching the free 7-day mindfulness challenge. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow morning where we do something different with mindfulness. Take care. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.